All right, well, let's move on from one super sexy feud to another crazy sexy feud. I mean, we are...
Incredible.
Ladies, at the end of the day, we're eating, okay? So Toni Storm fought Red Velvet on Dynamite this week with Deonna Purrazzo on commentary. This match did unfortunately have to follow the Swerve Hangman opener, which sucks for them. I don't think that it should have been there.
No.
No, that was mean.
Get screwed
it just
over
felt
so much.
mean-spirited.
Yeah,
I know.
Right.
But, it was there. They did a good job. Deonna did a good job on commentary. I don't remember. She didn't say anything crazy unhinged, I don't think, like Toni does. But, it's like she was bringing a very powerful energy. Like, you just really felt like she knows what's going on.
Yeah. She felt so confident and just I belong here. And, she and Taz were just,
And I enjoy that she and Toni in some ways are mirroring Cope and Christian, where her vibe on commentary was she was my friend and I liked her. And now she's doing something crazy and I wish it wasn't happening because I miss my friend.
Yeah. That's true. With a little less of Cope's initial I want to save you. Her vibe isn't really I want to save you. She's just like, Toni, babe, you've got to get better. Go to a doctor.
This isn't normal. Yeah.
I know you don't think this is okay.
It's everybody around you is too scared to say this. Toni, you are out of your mind.
Commentary was doing a lot of Toni, she's lost the championship 3 times and each one has really taken a hit to her sanity. And now she's this. It's
As I saw someone on TikTok saying today, the people in your life are not being honest with you. That is the energy that Deonna is bringing. After Toni won the match versus Red Velvet, we had a little in-ring segment. Ladies, what can we say about this? Just as we struggled with the question in the last segment, yet again we struggle. Sniffing and nuzzling.
Erotically sniffing Deonna in the ring.
They took kissing pose and they added did it 10 times. They added it was a play on kissing pose.
A play. And amuse.
In the women's division to have this level of eroticism.
Mwah.
We don't usually get that, and
we don't usually get that now.
I was stunned.
And to get it when it's you are just this is a raw, organic feeling, passion between two women.
With a long history. Who have matching tattoos and we've seen
they were roommates. So, that fucking rocked. That was great.
And then the promo that was on Twitter afterwards where Toni was talking to Mariah and was like, yes, and when I sniffed Deonna in the ring, and then she paused and everyone's looking at her and she goes
She's so funny.
She's so good. She's so good.
I'm so hyped for this match for Revolution. I think they're doing such a good job in the build for this pay-per-view because there's so many things where I'm like, well, I can't wait to see that. That's really going to pay off. And they're making it feel like a big deal.
I know,
and they're rolling them out
to get their hands on each other.
Yeah, when they'll finally get their hands on each other.
And it's obviously we're in the soggy middle of the cycle, but I have to say I think they've been rolling out the actual match drops at a great measured pace over the course of the last couple months, and it's not feeling too soggy. This was a great show. This week's show was
not soggy at all. It was
a hot show.
It was one of the rare times that I think we agreed with the internet. I feel like sometimes we've come on here and been like, I thought that was a great episode, and
everyone was mad.
I know, but this was one of the rare ones where everybody shook hands and was like, "Great game, great game, great game."
Yeah. Being a little wrestling fan is so funny. Sometimes you are just like, "Am I crazy?" But no, we're right, I think. Yeah. So they are going to fight at Revolution. What do you think the outcome will or should be? What are you expecting or hoping for?
I can't decide because the thing is that I do not believe that people who are in their first 3 months of being at AEW should be allowed to get the belt.
Yeah.
But there's also a point where I'm like, how long can Toni do this, and what would knock her out? I don't know what the answer is. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know where the story goes next.
Losing the belt would cause her to have a mental break that would change her game. And maybe it would be a good time to go out on a high with the 40s thing, because it is true. Like, you can't milk it forever. But it does feel very, like, when I think about Deonna being the world title holder, I do feel a little bit like, I don't know about that.
Like, she just got here. Yeah.
She just got here. And actually, you know what I'm going to have us do? I'm going to have us pause this conversation, move into the next segment, and then circle back on it. How does that feel?
Okay. Love it.
Okay. Yeah. So Toni spent all week, Toni Khan, there's too many Tonys. Or as I said the other day, Toni Harding. About Tanya Harding. Toni Khan spent all week hyping up his big announcement for Dynamite. And the big announcement turned out to be that AEW is returning to Boston, Leah. And they will be running a show at TD Garden in mid-March. And the show has a special name, Big Business. And Tony's very excited, and it's going to be one of their biggest shows ever. And he's so excited. Everybody should go to the show. So the consensus of pretty much, I think 100% consensus of the audience online is that Mercedes Moné is going to be debuting at the show, which was like teased in the Boston thing. What, you guys all know it. You're online. So we are going to be getting a big change in the women's division. Let's talk about this announcement. Let's switch tacks. Tony's really been working at doing these announcements. He's really been working at talking to the camera, huh?
He did look more normal, but it was very funny because he had the impression of a person who is being very like, what do I normally do with my hands? Just hold them at your sides. Hold them at your sides, like the whole time. And you're like, this is taking a lot out of you to
Someone gave him some kind of visualization exercise to do, and he was working really hard at it. I think, like, you said while we were watching it, you were like, he's been working really hard at it. You can tell. I said, yeah, you can tell, but that doesn't mean he's good at it. It doesn't mean he's doing a good job.
And that's what I meant. Like, hard. You can tell a lot of effort is going into this presentation. Yeah. This is not natural.
But good for you, Tony. We're not being mean to you. We're just celebrating how
I found it endearing.
How fun it is to watch.
To be honest, I would rather have a CEO who cannot for the life of him be normal on camera than I would like any kind of like sleazy, like, you know, smooth talker. I'm like, it's way funnier that like Tony.
You don't think Matt Jackson should take over these announcements? I know that can't be true, Leah. You don't think that he wouldn't do a great job while he's selling us a used car that has a engine full of sawdust?
I think I really hit a new... I mean, we'll get into it. I think I hit a new level when I called him a Botox dealer to the stars. Of course, he could read me the phone book, but it is... I do really like my announcements from Tony because it's like this moment where I'm like, look at you. You don't know how to be a human being.
It is like watching the high school morning announcements a little bit.
Oh my God.
A little closed circuit TV.
Oh, I miss those. I haven't thought about those in so long. Why don't I get those in my apartment? It's called the news. I was going to say, I think that the only thing that I sometimes feel is I'm like, oh, you don't have to work. Just do whatever weird thing you were doing before. It's fine. Just be weird. It's okay. You can be a freak. Anyway, but...
It does feel like he's working a lot harder at the women's division lately in preparation for Mercedes Moné, which I do love. And it does show that, like, with a little bit of thought and attention, you actually can have several quite delightful women's storylines going at once. And it's been great.
Good. Yeah. I mean, it is, as we always say, you don't have to spend that much time on them to make them feel real and enjoyable. So... but the reason I wanted us to cycle back on it was because it was like, okay, so Toni and Deonna are going to fight at Revolution. And as you've said, Leah, it's like, I agree. I don't think people should get to this company and get belts. I think that you should put in your time, and I should get to know you before I see you get a belt. And because that's the only way you're going to have me on your side. And I know you want me on your side.
We're valuable. We're very valuable allies.
Yeah. We reach wide audience.
Many people we are fans of are grateful for our favor.
Hey, you want to be in with the fun-loving girls? You're going to have
Those
to get on our
fun-loving girl demographic. Yeah. The unaccompanied women date.
Everyone in wrestling is like, no, we've never thought about the fun-loving girl demographic.
Not even
We've never
once,
once thought about it. And in fact, we'd almost prefer not to pander to it.
We do everything we can to keep the fun-loving girls out of wrestling, actually.
That's Dustin Grima worm-tonguing backstage, being like, we don't want those fun-loving girls around. They're always just asking you to do things like answer questions about what color you like. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. What was I going to say? Oh, okay. But then let's say Toni keeps the title, okay? Then the next thing that's happening is that Mercedes is coming into the division. Yeah. And I don't want Mercedes getting the title either.
No.
But she will.
And I don't like your pragmatism. I don't like your pragmatic outlook there. I just don't think you should come in and get a title. I think I should get to know you.
I fully agree with you. I don't think Mercedes Moné or Will Ospreay should get them this year, but we'll see what happens.
But it is your belief that is what will happen?
I think she will. Yeah.
Okay.
Although I don't know the time. I don't know what the time frame will be, but certainly before the end of
all in
2024.
The problem with the women's division is okay.
The one problem.
Let's say the one problem. Yeah, the one problem. Let's say Toni lets us make that rule. You have to be in AEW for 6 months before you're allowed to touch the belt.
Yeah.
So that takes Deonna and Mercedes out. Who would take it off of Toni?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to give it to Sheeta again. Britt needs a lot of fucking rehabilitation before she can be.
I'd love to see her again.
I'd love to see her again, of course. I would love to see her again.
Have we seen has what's her face? Allie. You know, she just came back Thunder Rosa. Has she been wrestling anywhere again? Or she's not going to get a belt immediately again, but she's been.
Yeah, she was on. Remember, she was in that tag team with Abaddon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that was a while ago, right? And then she had a couple singles. She had 2 singles matches, maybe.
Yeah.
What is time?
I feel like in January she's had a couple matches.
Well, I don't think she's going to get.
If I could think of one person to take it off of Toni and hold it for 6 months while we all got to know Mercedes, then I would let her have it. But I just don't think that Deonna, and this is true for both of them, should have it the first time they challenge for it.
I know.
Yeah.
But I don't run the world. So I think in 6 months instead we'll be like, and of course all the respect to my champions, Mercedes and
all the respect. And of course all our best to her friends and family, our traditional best to her friends and family.